Hello and welcome back to Exeter City, where I just want to take a moment first and foremost to thank those people who have been watching through on this series. I know it's not the biggest series, it's not even my biggest series, but I appreciate you all the same, and, well, let's get you caught up on what's been happening since last time. Oh, and if for some reason you have been watching this series and haven't clicked the subscribe button yet, do that now please, because, I mean, what are you waiting for? And if this is your first video, then I suggest you go back to the very beginning and start from there, but still hit that subscribe button. Thank you! Since we last met, which was the 3-3 against Newcastle United, we had back-to-back 1-1s with the Manchesters. Both of them. Same goal scorer in both. In fact, Uribe's turned up. We beat Forest 2-0 and Chelsea 3-0. Chelsea are terrible. I don't know what's going on there. I said look out for them this year because they didn't have European football and they are, well, done the opposite actually. I expected them to be sensational and they've been not great. Aston Villa, we lost to, just to hold that particular run. I do love being FM'd. It's not that much of an FM to be fair, but yeah. In fact, it's an incredibly even game. Same shot, same on target. They just happened to convert one more than we did. But then we made one tweak and demolished Forest 5-1. And that tweak was removing the stay wider off the box-to-box midfielders. Literally anything I did. And yes, we have played Forest twice in 4 games in the league. That's not a fixture rearrangement. Because I noticed that was still the case in the last episode when I was editing that. For some reason, we've played Forest twice by the start of November already. I don't know what's happened, but that is the case. Romero scored a hat-trick in the first 26 minutes and then got injured in the second half because clearly someone in the Forest team took offence to that. Royal scored an own goal, which I thought was hilarious at the time because it looked like he headed it into his own net, but in fact was actually a slide tackle when you saw it slower, so it's not that funny. And Saunders made it 5. But then the inevitable loss against Wolves, who continue to be the most hilarious bogey team. I mean, they are doing fantastically in the league this year, don't get me wrong, but we had 6 people injured in the run-up to this. Only 3 were injured between the 2 games, plus Uribe in the Forest game itself. But it's still hilarious how many people got injured during Forest / directly before Wolves for the Wolves game. Both my fullbacks and both my starting strikers were missing for that game. Obviously, Eduardo's been out for longer, and 2 of my players were on international duty already. I'm not sure why they were on international duty on the Sunday when games were still being played, but they were. And that included my, for that game, backup striker Kuzu. So I only had the 2 strikers that were on that pitch. And that was that for strikers. But yeah, we had to play Ola Aina because we also couldn't play Johnny against them, of course, because he's on loan from them. And Thierry Small, so I had no backup fullbacks and no backup strikers. And one of them got sent off. Tell a lie, I did have a backup fullback, but he was returning to fitness and then still had to play because Thierry Small got sent off. It's hilarious. Semedo scored the same goal he scored against me at the end of last season as well, by the way, from outside the box. Exactly the same goal. But yeah, FM'd. And then Spurs obliterated us in the first 30 minutes. We sort of got into it in the second half a little bit, but yeah. We are playing Huddersfield and West Ham today. West Ham not having a great season. They are behind us in the table. We are 12th currently. After we beat Forest, we were 8th. So those 2 losses have very much tanked our season. But I fear it's going to be a very similar season to last season where we just end up in that middle. But there's a chance for something special because there's a top 6 that doesn't include Chelsea right now. And then everyone else. 6 points between 6th and 7th, but then 9 points between 7th and 17th. The good news is now we're at this Huddersfield game. We are far enough from that Wolves game that pretty much everyone is back now. Castillo returning to fitness, Carlos Eduardo returning to fitness, but otherwise everyone else is back. That matters. Sanchez in goal, Martin, Stones, Ballard, Johnny are right back. Toussaint, Markovic, Mansley, Fofana, Saunders and Uribe is the team. The question Fofana versus Hesham is being asked in my brain. Feels much of a muchness, but we'll bring Hesham into it. In fact, I think Mansley probably should be box-to-box because he is right-footed. It is Stones and Ballard in central defence today, by the way, just because of Avalos's Paraguay commitments. Sorry, I'm just in the wrong camera because I wanted to re-see that. That's not how you say that word. I wanted to re-watch that own goal just to see if it was a header, and it wasn't. So I thought I'd have a quick nosy at that before I started this recording in case it was hilarious enough for your viewing. Fortunately it wasn't, but Aaron Martin's put this ball in and Saunders was on the end of that. Oh, how I wish the 6'8" of Carlos Eduardo was in that box there. But what I saw there was very much more reminiscent of what I saw against Nottingham Forest. The one thing I saw against Forest was that the fullbacks, now I've put these box-to-boxes on not stay wider, the fullbacks seem to have so much more space. They're on wing-back now, by the way, as well. Stones is, well, intercepted there, but Aaron Martin's got the ball back, and, well, Stones has put the ball in the box. It was a curious ball in. Markovic has got the knockdowns. Hesham back to Stones again. But yeah, Aaron Martin here has so much more space in this game. It will get to Markovic here. I think it was Johnny in that game because Martin was injured against Forest. Mansley. Oh no, it might have been Small. Oh, no, not quite. Aaron Martin puts the ball back in again and back out again. Ballard to the back post. Chance goes begging. We really should have scored by now. Both first-choice strikers are lurking on the bench, of course, if we need to bring them on. That's a lovely move on to Uribe. Sorry, Uribe's actually on the pitch already. Aaron Martin. That's a long throw, and I don't really know why that's happened. But Bettinelli, who must be a lot younger than I thought he was, to Johnny. Markovic finds Saunders. Although goalkeepers, of course, go a little bit longer, don't they? But I still suspect he is younger than I think he is. And Saunders has scored a header. But you see what I mean, though? Like, Aaron Martin had all the time in the world to put that cross in there. And I dare say, when Carlos Eduardo's back on this pitch, this might get a little bit more dangerous. Although, okay, so Martin didn't have the most amount of space there. The defender was tracking, but he didn't really close him down. That might be on Huddersfield rather than Martin, to be fair. But Josh Bowler, a player that's been on my teams quite often in the past, but his potential is very much tanked in recent years, I think. So Hesham, still Hesham, still Hesham, still Hesham. Where's he going? What a weird highlight. Something must come of this corner. Otherwise, why have we seen that? I am none the wiser. 70 minutes on the clock. Uribe's playing well, but he is recently back from injury himself, so I don't... Whilst he wasn't on returning to fitness, we will get Carlos Eduardo on. Aaron Martin not too far back from injury either. So Thierry Small on. Now Eduardo's on the pitch, we'll swap him over. And we'll bring on Fafana for Mansley, who was just a bit tired, but still playing well. I mean, if this ends 1-0, what a performance from their goalkeeper. Also, encourage or praise at this stage, because obviously we played really well. I've ended up doing neither. But Ballard, down to Hesham, gets Carlos Eduardo in, and, well, that was a terrible first touch. On the UC. And are they going to have one shot on target, one goal? Is that what's about to happen, or are we going to get the ball back here? Markovic gets the ball back, Toussaint. Back to Markovic. Releases Small in all the space. Still Small. He's going to go himself, isn't he? No, he's going to fall to Carlos Eduardo, and it's being blocked again. And actually, this might be a chance for them after all. Nope, Stones does a tactical foul. Doesn't even get booked for it. What had me worried, because free kicks are obviously undefendable. How has he ended up with a 6.7? Admittedly, we had 27 shots, but only 8 of them were on target. It's 3 points, but good God. I'll say the thing that gets the inspiration and the motivation and the morale up, but I'm not best pleased with that. Yeah, Huddersfield very much on course for the Derby record. We played more games than them, but we're ahead of Chelsea. Again. Fulham are 7th. I don't know what just reminded me, but Kieran Trippier's manager of Middlesbrough. He stayed with Newcastle till 2024, so I can't imagine this has gone down well. Did finish his career at Burnley, though, which is a nice fitting circle. And there's an odd Naughties wingers battle in League One with Damien Duff in charge of Burton and Freddie Youngberg in charge of Blackpool. Wait, Che Dunkley's managing Chesterfield. Our Che Dunkley. What? Why is his preferred formation 3 at the back? He's only got a National A licence. So, as he develops his coaching qualification, he's going to be a really good manager if that's his attributes at National A. We might end up managing against him. His win percentage hasn't been great, though. And finally, the list of surprising manager appointments is the least surprising manager appointment of all time. Sean Dyche, manager of Wigan. Has there ever been a more fitting manager movement than that? Good God, Aston Villa are useless. I mean, they beat us, but Jesus. How do they not beat 9 men? Beereth's still at Tanana, by the way, despite being terrible. I don't think I've ever seen a rating as bad as that. He really should have joined us. What I love is the fact that the rating barely improved when he got relegated. And now he's not even playing. I bring it up just because he was the one to talk about Ramiro Uribe in the press. Ramiro Uribe is still a name that's very difficult to say quickly. So despite only playing 1 game, Uribe gets Player of the Month, Young Player of the Month. And Benavidez gets into the top 3 in League 2. Yeah, he's still doing well, isn't he? Shooting no longer a weakness for Uribe. Considering he's got the pace already. Keep going, please. Speaking of attributes that have once been said are no longer a weakness, both Hesham and Markovic now have 14 pace and acceleration minimum. I think they both have a 15 and a 14. We'll keep going with them because they'd like them to be 16s. The faster we get our players, the better we'll play. Simple as that, really. Pace is king. Minor side note, by the way. This is something that bothers me. First choice goalkeeper to star player for Sanchez. Why do we have separate goalkeeper playing times if they're still subject to the regular playing times? Why are the regular playing times options for goalkeepers when they've got their own set of things? First choice, cup goalkeeper, emergency backup. They're the only three that should be there for goalkeepers. We're one of the people to agree to be a squad player this year, after not really playing that much. And despite 8 substitute appearances in the Premier League and a cup start, he wants to go out on loan. No. The only one allowed to do that is Longstaff, who is 7th on the list of midfielders right now. Oh, Saunders took a knock and I didn't even notice. Castillo good for 75, so he will play the 70. Why did Ballard and Avalos not like each other? So Castillo in the right back, Fofana in the midfield just because Hesham is listed as tired, and Tiggers for Saunders, who's taken a knock and I wasn't aware of. They're the only changes. I wish Carlos Eduardo was better than more than 45 minutes. Oh, Avalos in for Stones as well, just because he's had this match off, so hopefully that might be enough for him for now. Stones has been relatively poor, but then Avalos hasn't been that much better either. But I'd rather have the 6'8" man in there just for set pieces. And his 100% pass completion ratio in this game, according to the statistics. It's been 20 minutes. We've not seen anything till now. Holgate in their defence. Vlasic still at West Ham. That was an odd tackle that didn't go through for Toussaint. Ballard heads that one down. Fofana. Don't really know why we're in an away kit. Mansley has got all the time in the world to try and do some sensible here. I appreciate what he was trying to do. He just did it way too early. And Minamino's going to go on at the end of that because no one else is really challenged for it. But we're okay for now. There's been 3 shots in half an hour of football. Okay, that's now up to 5 as soon as I said that. Come on, lads, we did chance conversion training this week. Get them on target. Mansley. Ball in. Tiggers is there. Tiggers has scored. 6'4" man can put that in. But 6'8", none of the 6'8ers have done that yet. We're in November and none of the 6'8ers have scored a corner. Admittedly, Eduardo's been out for a month, but see what I mean though? Sometimes it's the man on the post and sometimes it's the man attacking the post that gets on the end of those. And it's always the one that's shorter as well, seemingly. Doesn't matter which way around you put them. It's whichever one is the shorter of the two. We'll go for it. I half wonder if they've coded that deliberately. Mansley's in again, just to try and reduce the effectiveness of near post corners, because it was a problem early on. Nathan Ake's made his way to West Ham. That feels like a sensible move, actually. Johnson, Darun, Vlasic, McGinn. Sorry, McGinn's at West Ham. McGinn in a claret and blue there, or maroon and blue, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if West Ham get particular about that. Which Jones is that as well? If that's Curtis Jones, it is. Sensible move. Jones came on for his Liverpool teammate Minamino as well. Castillo was only good for 75 and he's not actually played that well. So Johnny on. Markovic tired and not playing well. But I'll leave him on the pitch for now because I do want to obviously consider Carlos Eduardo at some point. Uribe across to Markovic. You realise I just interrupted a highlight to have that consideration there. Aaron Martin gets the ball into the box. Uribe's under it and, well, just turned into a player. Mansley, Tiggers. He scored again. He's clearly onside. I don't know why this was even being reviewed. Well, now I definitely can't take Tiggers off. It's really... My team is really weird at the moment. Like, every few games, just one player becomes unbelievable. It was Baba Mansley a while back, who scored a hat-trick in one game. Uribe obviously scored a hat-trick against Forest and then got injured. And now Tiggers is on for one. We'll get Carlos Eduardo the game time. Hesham on for Markovic. Hesham. I was about to say Hesham should have started the game, but I just remembered he was tired. Fofana releases Mansley, but Bursic gathers. There's 2 bookings in the middle there, which concern me slightly. Jared Bowen, Darun. Does Bowen not start for them anymore? Darun, Holgate, Darun, Bowen, Darun, Vlasic. That's good movement. Johnson's in. Johnson's across. Curtis Jones down. Sonny Perkins. I forgot this was the return of Sonny Perkins. Probably because he's only just come on. Don't tell me he started, actually. No, I think he's come on. I think he replaced McGinn. Mansley. To Carlos Eduardo. That's not the pass I wanted, but Mansley again with a good tackle on a yellow card, and he's put Tiggers in for his hat-trick. Unselfish. Mansley is absolutely shattered, as is Aaron Martin. Avalos heads down to Tiggers. Oh, everyone's trying to get him that 3rd goal in these dying seconds. I appreciate the teamwork here, lads. Why does I say Exeter drop down to 8th? We started today in mid-table, so how can we be dropping down? I know what it means. It just means that in the play-by-play that we have been higher in the table during the course of this 90 minutes, but 8th is fine, lads. 8th is fine. Frankly, being outside of Europe at this stage is a benefit. But 2-0 away at West Ham on a 1-degree day at the London Stadium. Spirited performance despite the cold. Yeah, West Ham not having the best of seasons, but we're up to 21 points. We are behind Chelsea, who have played 2 of their games in the space of the time that we've played 1. And now they have moved into contention, but still 5 points behind Wolves in 6th, who they just drew with today. In fact, that 91st minute equaliser by Tonali is what put us in 8th, rather than 7th, it seems. Spurs with a last-minute winner as well. And Liverpool too. A lot of the big teams getting last minute. Brentford actually took the lead in that game. A lot of the big teams getting last minute winners today, or last minute points at least. Yeah, well performance from our backup forward here. He doesn't play often, but when he does, 7.05 apparently. Why was he so bad for Freiburg? Don't know when the draw is for the FA Cup third round. Imagine we get Chesterfield. Imagine if we get Jake Dunkley's Chesterfield in the FA Cup. Don't know if they're still in it. I don't really know where to bring you back. Maybe not too far forward. Maybe Burnley and Bournemouth. Probably somewhere in the late December, early January period anyway. Or even Bournemouth and Brentford at the end of January. It's kind of going to be one of those gaps where I play just to see where we are in the table and what's likely going to happen for the rest of this season. Just bring you back at the point where we have 2 games that's going to basically define our season. Because much like last season, we played through to this kind of point, and there were a couple of games that kind of made me just go, oh, this is clearly definitely going to be around a mid-table finish. And lo and behold, mid-table finish when the season finished. So we'll play through to the point where we're going to have a couple of games that will define our season like that. And I'll see you then. Until then, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.